Welcome to Reread. We're on 2 short stories a day. The first one's by Walter John Williams. It's Ylesia, or whatever it's called. This was in the, it was an ebook, and it came out in one of the paperbacks. I don't have it on my shelf anymore. Oh, I got rid of it because I have this other hardback that collects all the New Year Older stories. But anyway, this is a story written by Walter John Williams. It takes place in between, I can't remember what chapters, and the later chapters in his book. And basically, Thraken Salsola has gone to Lord Shimra, and he's trying to make a deal with him, but Shimra appoints him as president of the Peace Brigade, which he knows is going to make Thraken Salsola look awful because he's supposed to be the champion of Karelia, and he hates the Vong. But of course, Thraken is, you know, a coward, and he's just trying to make sleazy deals. So when he becomes the unwilling president, he says no at first, and they kind of throw an ampustaff and hit him in the kidneys just to see if a kidney punch hurts humans. And I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but it was really funny because Nominar's like, it does hurt them. I'll file that away for later. You know, they're just testing out to see if it works. And speaking of Nominar, I should mention, I failed to mention this in the Destiny's Way, but when he falls for Akbar's trap, he knows his goose is cooked and he goes into hiding. Now, this story takes place before all that. He's still good with Shimra and everything, with the Supreme Overlord. But when Thraken Salsola goes to become president, suddenly the New Republic attacks with Jason, with Jaina, with Lobaka. They all go after. They know Thraken Salsola's there. They capture him. They capture Poe is there. He's the former chief of state. He's not really. He declared himself chief of state after Star by Star, but his nomination was null and void when the Senate made a true vote in Destiny's Way. That was part of the politics version. And we didn't get to really see what Poe was up to. So Walter John Williams wrote this short story, and Poe is in it trying to create this peace treaty to kind of bring to the Republic to kind of reclaim some, you know, some of his power. But it doesn't work out. They throw him in the brig with Thraken Salsola when they capture. And Thraken Salsola is a great character. But Thraken, of course, he loves humans. He hates aliens. He's got that imperial bias about him. And he calls Poe a fish head. You're going to lock me up with this fish head and whatever. And he's just mocking. You're the most pompous, whatever. You know, it's really funny. And in the end, Thraken's about to go to jail. He's getting transferred back to Karelia, where he's going to stand trial for all his crimes. Well, he's already thinking of an escape plan. He's going to put back together his Centerpoint party and come back and conquer the world, or the 5 worlds of Karelia. He just wants to be ruler of Karelia. And knowing that, you know, Silver Tongue Gorilla, he's probably going to get there too one day. But it's funny because at the end, Jason and Jaina are talking about, do you think Thraken Salsola was telling the truth? Do you think he was really forced to become president of the Peace Brigade? And Jenny goes, either way, he scores some points for me for calling Poe a fish head. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's slang for some alien. I don't think he'd look at, but they all laugh at that. But the truth is they don't like Poe, and that's the reason. Overall, it's great. Does it feel like a missing chapter in Destiny's Way? No. Does it feel like an extra chapter? No, it feels like a side adventure. A big side adventure that Walter John Williams just made up after the fact, put it within his storyline to tell you what was happening to some of the characters when other things were happening, and it's fine. Is it a must-read? I don't know. I don't know if you enjoyed Walter John, and he has dogfights in there. There's a few pages of dogfights too. This is like 70-something pages long. It's an ebook. I think it costs like $2 on Amazon, and yeah, I think you should get it. It's fun. The next one I want to talk about is from Star Wars Tales 21. It's called Equals and Opposites. Very short story written by Nathan P. Butler, a friend of mine who I've had on my channel here and there. And he does a great, and I told him this when I had him on last time he was on, that Equals and Opposites was one of the few times, and I didn't realize he had wrote this till way later, but it was one of the few times when I was reading a Tales comic and went, oh, and I got interested, because Kyle Katarn, that's great. And Jan, he's trying to propose to Jan. Jan's like, no, when you propose to me, it's going to be at a peaceful time. And, you know, they have this little adventure with the Vong. He goes, now will you marry me? She goes, no. And I think that's funny because Kyle Katarn wants to have kids. He's getting up there. I mean, he's got to be, what, 40s now? Mid-40s? And I know what that's like to have kids at that age. So, you know, Kyle Katarn needs to get cracking on it. He's not going to be young forever. And I like that story. And I kind of was hoping that they'd be married at this point. I mean, I don't know if Nathan had some restraints he had to work with, but I would have loved to see them be already married and talking about a youngster that they have, or maybe 2 youngsters they already have with them. Just sort of fast forward to that. Maybe he wasn't allowed to marry them off at that point. Either way, it's nice to see imagery of the Vong. Of course, this is before we had Invasion, but I'll be honest, I just like it. Something about it feels just fun. It feels fun. There's nothing super special about it. It's just that I love knowing that Kyle Katarn is out there doing his portion and fighting the Vong. Now, did this happen after Destiny's Way? That's originally how I had it. Yeah, but it could have happened, honestly, just about anywhere. Anywhere. After the fall of Coruscant, I still feel. But, any time after that, I don't know if it had to be this late. But, I mean, I'm not changing it on the timeline. I'm just saying there's nothing that specifically ties it down to right here after this moment, after Destiny's Way. Either way, it's a fun story. Whether or not you can read it or not, yeah, it's not. If you can't find it, that's okay. But Kyle Katarn, just seeing Kyle Katarn, there's nothing super special about it, but seeing Kyle Katarn fight the Vong, that was special to me. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.